He is the sales director of new development at Surrent. Great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
So specifically, you're talking about the luxury market, which is $4 million plus. And what are you seeing?
Correct. $4 million plus. What we've seen post Mamdani is still record numbers. So November was 25% higher than October. And 2025 was the best year we've had since 2021. We've also seen not just my record sale at $60 million, but we saw another record deal at 140 Jane for over $80 million. And subsequent to that, another deal at 80 Clarkson for $129 million.
I love that apartment.
It's a sweet.
I wish I had a little more room.
It's a sweet apartment. Yeah. So, if anything, trophy apartments are selling, and they're selling at record numbers. Not just that, rental numbers are through the roof. We did another deal for a record price per square foot uptown at the Benson for $288 a square foot, $95,000 a month. So, if anything, I haven't seen any Mamdani effect in the numbers and in the data. And then if you walk outside New York, I've been here for the better part of 30 years. I haven't seen New York this busy in my lifetime. I look at photos of the 80s, right, where everybody's walking on Park Avenue and all the traders are walking to work. It reminds me of that. You can't get a reservation anywhere. Your line's out the door for coffee. So the city is very alive and well.
Yeah, the back to office has had a huge impact on all of that. But when it comes to, if you take sort of a broader view of things, the price point that you're talking about, those are people who can afford whatever tax increase Mamdani will bring. They've got the funds to weather whatever comes through Mamdani. I would argue that the people below $4 million are suffering the most, or would suffer the most theoretically. So are you seeing a big difference in terms of the desire, the listings, apartments sitting on the market for the lower price points?
Lower price points, you still have, New York City is the cultural capital of the world, it's the financial capital of the world, it's the real estate capital of the world. And it's always been that way, and it'll remain that way. So a mayor is not gonna dictate what this city is and what, we've had bad mayors in the past. We've had okay mayors in the past, but it doesn't change the makeup of New York City.
We haven't had socialist mayors in the past.
That's true. Great point.
That's sort of the difference.
Right.
But contrast it. Weren't there a lot of inbound calls before when he was first elected between November and the end of the year, concerned about what's going to happen to real estate?
Yeah, of course there's concern, but it hasn't, in terms of the data that I've seen, it hasn't changed the makeup, and people still want to be in New York.
Peter, how about foreign investors? How about investment properties? Obviously, because there are those buyers out there, but how much of that? Because when rates were low, we were seeing dynamics. When there were different trends in terms of unrest in other parts of the world, we obviously know there's certain parts of the world where there's a lot of money that comes here. Right. What are you seeing there relative to the world you've been in for the last 5-10 years? Those two parts of the buyer.
You've certainly seen more money come out of Asia into the United States or into New York in terms of real estate, which is increasing overall demand and competition for local buyers. So it's making it more difficult to buy. And I think the biggest thing that's going to happen in 2026 and 2027 is a lack of inventory. We're at a record low for inventory, and there's only 1,900 units planned between now and the end of 2027, which will basically, by the end of 2027, if you're not buying now in the next 6, 8 to 12 months, you're not going to be able to buy because there's no inventory.
Has the intention of the buyer changed at all in terms of, people who are buying are intending to either live in it or have it as their own pied-à-terre versus people who are buying with the intent to rent it because of the uncertainties around Mamdani?
I think people are still buying homes in New York to live in their homes.
Okay.
you do have some investment, but primarily people want to, even if it's a pied-à-terre, they still want a place in New York.
What's the most important amenity now? What's the, especially in these luxury things, what's
Yeah.
the coolest cool thing that's part of what people want?
Cold plunge,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Especially after
Cold plunge, huh?
Cold
Yeah.
plunge. And saunas, infrared saunas. I think health and wellness have played really big into what happened after COVID, because we all want to be healthy. We all realize how infinite or how time is limited on this earth, and people want to be healthy.